Okay, recording. Yeah. I have to say everything. If it's a client, if it's a stone, if it's a new craft I'm learning. I went from jewellery making into sculpting. I find different stones you can recut. I think the technology as well, what you can do, so you evolve. So I think curiosity, it never gets dull, even after 30 years. I think probably the most recent one of the Nelson Mandela sculpt, or the bust I've made, because it's kind of full circle for me, because he came into my life when I was turning my art into a brand, and I launched at Harrods and I did stuff at the Oscars, and it all was very grand. And then when I met him and I made this first piece with him, it really showed me that I could have an impact and really the storytelling of pieces. So now he's unfortunately obviously passed 10 years ago. I went into sculpting with the last idea we had, which is his face, and it's the shape of Africa. And then there are black diamonds everywhere on his face to represent the long walk to freedom in black diamonds. And I think that really showed me, first of all, the first circle, the full circle of the story I had with him, and the inspiration that my pieces really can do an impact, because the money which we receive from those 8 limited sculptures will go back to the Nelson Mandela Foundation in Africa. That's a very tough question. And I never had that one before. So normally they just ask me, who would you want to do something next? And I always say Lady Gaga, which I think she's amazing, because she's not just a musician, I think she's much more. And I'm really inspired by her. And probably with a Superwoman ring, I would have to add Alicia Keys now. Yeah, I mean, from the jewellery world is probably the heart of the jewellery world and watches. So I think that's gonna probably just help or elevate me, especially even working with different workshops maybe. At the moment here, I do mostly everything myself. So, and I remember making this ring with all these little baguette diamonds, and they had to be like cut in corners. And now in Geneva, I spoke to someone who does all the watches for the big brands in the dials, and they were like, oh, we can do this in a few weeks for you. So I think that can probably just, elevate me more. And then being in mainland Europe again, and the next step I wanted to learn is to actually go to the mountains, to Italy, and learn how to use marble and work with marble. So I think learning new skills and just growing as an artist. I mean, I love London. I think it's probably always will be my home after 21 years living here. I came here, in my 20s, and so many things happened here and so many things I've learned here, and I became really the master. I was technically on paper in Germany, but I really became that master here in this town. And all my friends starting a family, so I think London will always be a special place in my heart. And I don't think it's a goodbye. I think it's just, yeah. I think it's such a funny word, this legacy, and I'm really not so much interested in the legacy. I'm more interested in the now and what we can do now. And if I make an impact to every client and tell their story and do something really special to them, which they can, share with their family and their loved ones and can pass it on, that makes me happy. But if I will be remembered in 200 years or not, that doesn't. I work for now, and I want to do an impact now. Learn your craft, master it, and stay curious. Well, a bench jeweler basically means that you've learned it on the bench, that you are, we say goldsmith is kind of all the jewelry, smaller items that you can drill and craft and mold and bend the pieces into the desired forms and shapes. And a silversmith is candlesticks and bowls. And I've done my master degree in both. So I think kind of that you can see that in the pieces, some silversmithing techniques which are turned into small jewelry pieces and vice versa. And it really pushed my boundaries to go beyond and kind of show that in the sculpturing now. I think if you see a diamond as an investment, I think try to make sure you have a GIA certificate, that you trust the source. Let them explain you the 4 C's, because a lot of people or dealers, they tell you, but they don't really explain what that is. So I really try to explain. You can buy an SI stone, which is small inclusion 1 or 2, but if it's well hidden, I think it can be a good investment. If you see it straight away on the top and it goes into all the facets, then it might not be a good one. So try to go for a GIA, try to explain or get explained this 4 C's, and colored. I think colored will go up and up and up in diamonds. So the 4 C's in a diamond is cut, which to me, I say it first because it's the most important one. It's the one where a stone has a fire or not. So the cut, a round one does a brilliant cut, a square is a princess cut. So every stone has their perfect cut to get the best sparkle out of it and the fire. And the cut will be, on the GIA certificate, will be in proportions, and you can really tell if it is an excellent cut or just a normal cut. And you will see 10 stones, and that one which you say, that's different, that's normally the one that has the best cut. Then number 2 is carat, which is, everyone says, oh, I want a 5 carat, I want a 3 carat or whatever. It's actually just a gram divided by 5. So it's a weight. So it has a small indication of size, but it's not really the size, because you can have a 5 carat round, for example, and a 5 carat oval. And the 5 carat oval, because it's cut more into the body, will always look bigger than the round one. The color is obviously graded as D. Flawless is the most nicest color. It's the highest white. And then it's D, E, F. And these are the 3 which we say, it's Bond Street quality. And then GH, it will go down. And then at some stage you have faint yellow. So then it's not a white stone anymore, but it's not a natural yellow stone either. So you have to make a difference between a bad white and an actual natural colored yellow diamond. So, and then we have carat cut, in clarity, obviously. So clarity is indicated in the certificate of flawless. And then you have from flawless, you go into very small inclusions, very, very small inclusions. And then you go into small inclusions 1, small inclusions 2. If it's your first one, you might want to stay really up in the flawless range, especially if it's an investment. And this particular earring, which I love, obviously I started with sketching and the idea, and it was about the bees and the beehives. Because it's such a big piece, I decided to do it in titanium, which obviously again looks terrible when it comes out. And then it gets a bit better when you add the stones and the colors. And then in the end, you will have the piece ready. And then you see the beautiful green. It's super light because of the titanium. And I added it as a clip, but as a pin, which you can turn back, that you can, if you don't have pierced ears, you can wear them as well. Probably a few, but I guess I got asked a lot about my camera ring and my Superwoman ring, because I have these special Superwoman rings. And the Superwoman rings, they're all one of a kind, and they're always for that person. So I tend to, even for my energy wise, they should go to that person and no one else. But I think everything else, like my engagement ring, I'm not going to give away. My camera, I won't give away. This was from my mom, which I won't give away. And somebody, funny enough, asked me what was the first piece I'd done 30 years ago. And this was this. And he was like, if I could buy any piece of you, it would be this. And I was like, okay, I maybe should keep that one too.